We're sure of this, we know what we're voting for.
Reasons for supporting Brexit. My name's Mike Cashman, and there are those who say I've been quite vocal in giving reasons for opposing Brexit. That's true. But having listened to and heard from very many supporters of Brexit, in this video I'm going to attempt to put forward my understanding of what those reasons are. Now, let me say right at the start, I won't necessarily get this perfectly correctly in terms of expressing the views of pro-Brexiters, and therefore I'll make a commitment now that if people who support Brexit want to, at the end of this video, want to say, well, there are things that you haven't covered, Mike, or haven't expressed properly, and want to explain that in the comments, then I will make a further version of this video with a corrected version based on that feedback. But this is based on having heard from, listened to and read about an awful lot of supporters of Brexit. Because I want to start with, I've given each of these reasons an initial letter, P, which is for personal reasons. Now, I don't mean secret and private and confidential. I just mean things where the motivation is personal. And I'll give you an example. Suppose you were a lorry driver and you said, I think if I vote for Brexit, there will be fewer European lorry drivers in Britain. There will be a shortage. My wages will go up. I will earn more. If you voted for Brexit on that basis, for that particular personal reason, as an example, then you've seen that come about and your wages have probably increased. Fair enough. Valid personal reason. Another significant one that a lot of people have mentioned is immigration. They felt there were too many EU nationals in the UK. Now, in some cases people have said they voted for Brexit because there were too many people from South Asia in the UK. Brexit, by reducing immigration from the EU, may well increase immigration from other places. So that may be counterproductive. But there were very many people who voted against EU immigration, felt there was too much. And Brexit has certainly had an effect on that. A lot of EU nationals have left. There were far more here than any official statistics knew about. But it could be said that the move against EU immigration has overcooked it, because there are a lot of people who have left from jobs where the economy does not have an alternative in agriculture, vehicle driving, hospitality, care, NHS and so on. Nonetheless, if you wanted fewer EU people here, you may have voted on the basis of reducing EU immigration, and it's partly overcooked the effect because many people responded to the hostile environment that they perceived in the UK after the Brexit vote. Now, fair enough, if you voted for Brexit, that may not be what you wanted, because there were promises, for example, to treat EU citizens in the UK on the same basis as before, which were not fulfilled. But nonetheless, this is certainly a reason many gave for voting for Brexit. Now, there's another one I'll put on there because it's not really quite the same, but of course a particular person may have a combination of these. Now, this is N for nostalgia. This is, I want my country back. I want things to be the way they used to be. So I don't quite know how you measure that. It is 2021. Does it now feel in some ways like 1972? What is it that anyone who voted for with nostalgia as a motive was looking for? I honestly don't really know, so I can't say too much about that. So are those the major reasons? Oh, how can I forget? There is, of course, sovereignty. I couldn't forget sovereignty because I even mark it, sovereignty, British sovereignty. A completely empty box containing everything everybody could define about what they wanted from sovereignty. But that completely empty box does come with the 3 books, the 2 CDs, which if you are a Brexit supporter, but if you want to know why some people oppose Brexit, those could be really helpful to you. Anyway, that's my interpretation of sovereignty. But many people did vote for sovereignty, and the key question that seemed to come up very often was, so what does sovereignty mean? It means making laws, or very often the response was, without interference from the European Union. So can you give me an example of a law that you want to make which the EU, while we were members, prevents you from making? And very often people couldn't come up with an example. But if I understand the argument right, never mind that. The point was, it was about the principle of being able to make one's own laws. I have heard examples more recently. Apparently it's easier for merchant shipping to fly the red ensign now. So there we are. Sovereignty. Hope that makes a big difference to people. So are those the major reasons? Oh, there is one more, of course, and you know, I'll put it on here because it probably doesn't affect very many people, but it was probably significant, and that's taxation, tax avoidance, getting away from the EU anti-tax avoidance directive. You know, you want to hear more about that, do listen to Lovely Tax Breaks on Brexit's a Musical Trick. It seems like I've just spoiled the acronym there. I suppose if we take personal interest away, then we could say, well, there are the Brexit tins. But you know, I don't want to ignore personal interests. So I'll tell you what was Brexit all about? I shouldn't forget the desire to have pints and gallons, pounds and ounces, yards, feet and inches. So there we are. Reasons for voting for Brexit as far as I understand them. But if you know different, do write in and let me know what other reasons we should add to these, which have all been indicated as reasons by some people or other. And if you found this interesting and useful, subscribe to the channel. Thank you.